Welcome back, everyone, to the Alienware Analyst Desk. I am Kelly Link, and I'm joined by Taco and Dimmy, and we are here for the first game of the semifinal matches, guys. It is NRG versus Rival.
And it's going to be a particularly interesting one at that, considering that these are two teams that are viewed as probably some of the top-tier talent in Europe right now.
Yeah, this is going to be a really great game for sure. I think that both of these teams have a history of great games against each other, and no matter what we're going to see, it's going to be a great set.
Well, let's talk a little bit about actually their history together. NRG had a rough start going in through the season, and I know, Dimmy, we talked about that a little bit these last few days. How has Rival matched up to them coming into the scene, not really well known beforehand?
So in the past, when Rival actually formed up to be a better team when they were in their starts, NRG actually had the upper hand against them when Rival actually got better as a team at, I think, the Summer LAN. No, the Spring LAN it was. It was a best of 3, and we lost to them in a best of 3. It was because of the Phoenix Siege. They're a team that just doesn't give up, and they know how to do it. They know how to play the long game well, and that's why we struggle against them in the split. Now the World's here. I'm curious to see what's going to happen with that.
We're all curious to see what's going to happen today, and we have a full house right now, guys, for these excited matches. And if you can't be here today, do not worry, everyone, because there's going to be theaters around America where you guys can watch it at the Coke Theater Sunday, January 7th. Tickets are on sale now at SmiteFinals2018.com. It's going to be pretty sweet. Check that out with all of your friends. If you can't be here, obviously not everyone can fly in and watch the World Championship. So if you can't, please go check that out at the Coke Theaters. But back to Rival versus NRG. Yesterday we saw Rival go up against, I believe it was Nocturnes Gaming. Game 1 seemed pretty in favor of Rival, but Game 2, it looked like it was a Nocturnes. It was their game. How can you be Rival and feel confident going in today?
For Rival, I think Game 2 was also partially due to trying out a couple of different things. The Thoth ADC along with the Hachiman mid, both gods and picks that aren't necessarily top or the natural choices for those players, as well as just the gods in those roles. But all of these teams, like Rival in particular, they just have so much talent spread across their entire roster.
Well, let's take a quick look of that roster for Team Rival.
Team Rival. Vote. Callus. Wlfy. iceicebaby. Deathwalker.
Man, the crowd loves Deathwalker. Why do they love Deathwalker, Dimmy?
He's just really amazing. What he does is something that some other solo laners struggle to do. It is picking a god regardless of what the meta is. He will pick something that he likes, that he thinks is good, no matter what other things here. Seen him on the Ares solo, seen him on different other things here. Geb solo as well, right? Something he likes to pick up. And he just got us all, right? I like to see something spicy from him coming this tournament and this set. I've got high hopes, and actually personally feel also that the Hunter Volt, we might see him on something spicy as well, because I think Deathwalker himself said it might not show up again, but I think it will.
Really?
Yes.
They did not seem very comfortable yesterday in that interview with that second game. They're like, no, not gonna happen.
Deathwalker didn't seem particularly happy about it in the moment, but as Dimmy just said, you never really know what to expect from these sort of teams, especially one like Rival. They're not scared to be innovative, and that's probably one of the main reasons why we've seen such a recent uprise with this team.
And they're going to be going up against Team NRG. Let's check out that roster once more.
NRG. Emilitoo. iRaffer. Yammyn. Adapting. maniaKK.
If you were Rival and you were able to watch NRG's 3 games throughout the tournament, what is the one thing that you've learned going up against them?
Facing off against NRG, I think that the main thing is just understanding NRG is not a team that you can ever afford to make even the slightest mistakes with, and definitely learning how to pick your fights. NRG is just so exceptional at fighting at the right moments. They know and they understand if we take a couple of early spills during the earlier mid game, we're still going to be able to have the advantage or raise the advantage later on.
And given the course of the tournament, they have been very prominent fighting in the soul lane here, fighting the pressure, adapting here on the screen, has been doing a fantastic job.
He has had Robin every single time. They're going to have to ban it out this time, right? There's no way you're going to let Robin go through again. He fights it like it's an assassin, not a tank.
Yeah, he's really doing great with it. I feel like Rival should address it early on in the first couple of bans. If not, they can still pick it away from him. I know that Rival, iceicebaby, loves to play Robin just as well, so it's going to be a close contest here.
Let's talk about this duo lane matchup right now with the hunters of Vote versus emilitoo. How do they go up against each other?
And Vote versus emilitoo, I think that we can expect to see a little bit more of an aggression stance from Emil, because Emil's probably going to be looking to try and pressure out Vote really hard. We saw yesterday actually the match with Rival versus Nocturnes, where Rival actually started falling a little bit behind is because of how heavily Nocturnes just kept trying to apply pressure towards Vote after they saw that it wasn't being as successful versus Deathwalker. I'm
really excited to see what these teams are going to be picking, and I do believe we are ready for the first game of picks and bans, everyone. It is Rival versus NRG. Arguably the two, or no, not even arguably, the two best teams in Europe right now. We got the #1 seeded team, and then of course we have the reigning world champions. This is an intense match, and I'm really excited to see what we're going to have banned out, and of course what we're going to have picked. It is a game, a best of 5, so maybe you're right. Maybe we are going to see some quote-unquote spicy picks.
Yeah, very sure of that. Ravana gets banned right away.
First ban, I called it, man. You can't let adapting have that Robin.
And there's the Fafnir answer here. The NRG has been banning it all tournament long, and Fafnir also being one of Carlos's comfort picks, something that he always goes back to. Pretty sure NRG feel good about taking that away from him.
NRG now left in the debate as to understanding either Ullr, AMC, Colin, Ryzen. Those are all heavily contested picks in this current meta because of what they can bring for the mid lane pressure and introducing that towards solo lane, since both of these teams know just how crucial it is to place that pressure around those starting buffs.
We got a Sylvanas ban coming out here. We actually haven't seen NRG play Sylvanas. Oh no, we have. We've seen him play Sylvanas once.
Yeah, usually goes to iRaffer in the long lane, looking for the outpush onto the other Guardian in that lane. And I think so far, from what we've seen, it is a lot of comfort bans, a lot of bans that are actually directed towards the other team, not unlike the rest of the tournament where we have seen the prominent characters such as Ullr and emilitoo banned right away. Might happen here, though.
I mean, we have seen Ullr get through and seen him steal a Gold Fury with just one shot of a 3, so he is probably not going to make it through.
Probably not. We'll see, though. NRG actually taking a lot of bank time here, deciding on this last ban. This last ban decides a lot what's going to be happening with the first pick here. They have to decide very carefully what they want to give up to Rival here.
And it's a Ryzen ban.
Ryzen.
The crowd seems to be in favor of that. Ryzen has been, I think, 100% pick and ban right now.
He's been absolutely amazing. I think that is, yeah, that's true. And Hunters should be open now. It is emilitoo on the table, such as well as Ullr.
Man, that's what we keep seeing now.
This could potentially be heavily in NRG's favor, though, because whatever Rival opts for here, they're hovering the Osiris. NRG could potentially look with a response of Ullr Colin. Those are two picks that NRG has liked playing in the past, adapting at least with the Colin. And then emilitoo, I mean, he was one of the first hunters to really start bringing Ullr into the light.
We got Osiris most likely going to Deathwalker, and we saw him on that before in game #2. That game #2 was a little rough, though, but I wouldn't fault that into Deathwalkers.
Yeah, he actually loves Osiris. I know, like, playing against him, stuff like that. He's very strong on this character. He's a comfort pick for sure. And it seems that Rival altogether valued highly. Doing this, however, gives NRG the option to pick both Ullr and emilitoo if they were to go for the choice. Now, NRG needs to be careful here.
Would they go double Hunter? Oh, but the Artio pick.
Artio, right. It is smart to not commit too hard to the double Hunter. Rival actually first picking Osiris because they know that NRG will only pick one Hunter. So I'm guessing they should pick up the other one.
Oh, please give us Isis.
I would love to see this.
This would not surprise me either, and that is Wlfy all the way, no doubt in my mind. He's going to be picking up that Isis. Rival, again, they have always loved these heavy utility compositions, and Isis is perfect for this.
Odin with Isis together, their ult is going to be destructive.
That is a very good combination if Odin does not fall behind in the early game. Serqet is a great choice here. Hard counter to Isis. Early game pressure can be good against the Odin as well. Now, Artio Serqet matching him against Osiris Odin. I think Osiris Odin win that pretty strongly though.
They should definitely have the clear, at least for the mid lane, sorted away. But Osiris Odin as well, he shouldn't have any difficulties. I would like to see a Hu-Yi ban from NRG, considering it's a strong pick right now, particularly for Rival's composition.
But wouldn't they just pick Hachiman?
There is a Hachiman possibility, but it's just the AoE ultimate and the fact that Vo is pretty proficient on that Hu-Yi that would possibly make him a top selection for Rival right now.
We got a Ged ban coming out as well as a Cabrakan ban. Cabrakan just so good at chasing down, stunning enemies and killing them in the solo lane.
Yeah, Cabrakan is just a really solid character overall. Given that Artio's blocked in here already, I'm a ton a bit confused seeing the Artio mostly going to be in the solo lane for maniaKK.
Jungle then? But Serqet jungle.
But actually, no, it's going to be Serqet jungle regardless, I feel like.
It could potentially be the Serqet support, although I would have to anticipate it being Serqet jungle simply because Adapting probably wants to have that heavy mobility to track down and really lock down the Isis, not really allow her to get online.
Wow, AMC ban this far out in the game.
To be expected, but yeah, he made it fairly far down the draft, and actually seeing how we have already 3 characters locked in from both teams, the drafts are fairly open. It actually surprises me.
And these drafts so far, even though they've only picked 3 characters each, is phenomenal.
Yeah, they go through, I'm pretty sure both teams have exactly what they want, and I feel like both are confident going into this so far.
Yeah, these next 2 picks is really what's going to make or break these comps.
Ganesha is really smart. His 3 allows him to dash through the Odin cage, so even though he doesn't have a leap, his dash does go through player-made obstacles, so he should be safe in that regard. Anhur hovered here.
Oh my god, is this 2014? I'm so confused right now.
This is a throwback now. I'm getting thrown for a loop here. Anhur, we haven't seen him for a long, long while. And
I think we saw him once yesterday, just once. Oh, no way.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, Kamira played him.
Please give us Ares. It is actually going to be, yes! Look at this comp, Ares, Anhur, Odin, Isis, and I think Osiris is like the oldest god there.
This is pure
the newest
pick selection from Rival right now. There could be a possibility of the Chronos getting thrown back for NRG, and they're going to go for it.
That throwback energy, I hope they have the Chronos energy skin unlocked on that account.
They sure will. They made sure that Chronos energy is available on these LAN clients. It's been their dearest wish, and I'm pretty sure they will whip it out here.
Man.
Both team comps are looking really hyped to me. Rivals is working insanely well in team fights. They will lack a bit. They have to get into the game. They need the pressure.
For me, it's just that Rival's comp looks a little bit easier to execute, but NRG also has the talent on their team in general. All these guys are so crazy good. I can see NRG executing their comp.
Man, I'm excited. I know the audience is excited. And you know what? I'm not even going to do predictions because I wanted to see what happens. Guys, let's go to game number 1 of Rival versus NRG.
Thanks a lot, Kelly. NRG versus Rival. You know, a lot of us were talking. This is the match. Finals tomorrow, but today, this is the one that's really going to set just the pace of everything that we're seeing.
Absolutely. This is the rematch here of the Spring Gauntlet, the Spring Masters as well, where Rival actually toppled over the world defending champions 2-time, actually. So a lot to be said here in this little rematch.
Exactly, and as far as the storyline is concerned for this weekend, NRG coming in nice and hot. Fantastic stuff that we saw yesterday. Rival, on the other hand, might not be as strong, I think, as their fans might have anticipated.
Sure, their match against Nocturnes, they struggled a little bit in game number 2, but they managed to come back. NRG looked as strong as they did last year here on this world stage. Look at what Rival's trying to do here, trying to catch out Emo.
He misses it.
Not on the mark.
All right, damage-wise. Had Collis hit all 3 chains. Very scary stuff. Wlfy stunned out, a little bit scary here. A lot of action early on.
And that's not something we've been seeing a lot throughout this tournament. A lot of teams have been more reserved, wanting to try to get the edge in terms of pushing power, then looking for the invades. No hesitation between these two teams wanting to start off bright and early.
Well, everybody's feeling really comfortable. iCeicebaby stunned out, walks away. Everybody's feeling really comfortable. We heard the Deaths talk about, Dimmy mentioned, you know, both teams got exactly what they want. iCeicebaby loves this Odin, Wlfy's signature Isis, etc. Across the way, pretty much the same thing.
That's right. Yammyn can play any sort of 100 that he wants in the mid lane. First picking it for NRG, and then last picking emilitoo's Chronos, that signature NRG skin that was basically made after him, and that's something that we should really be looking for towards the mid to late game.
Absolutely. Both of these teams are going to be a little bit stronger, I think. Well, actually, let me scratch that. NRG is definitely looking towards the late game. Rival, however, they're kind of mid-game monsters here. Wlfy, Vote, iCeicebaby, all of these guys really going to look for those 15-minute gold furies and really try to fight.
They have great objective control with that circle of protection. They have the good damage burst-wise between Isis, Ares. Great control with the cripple as well. Callus, though, left in a little awkward positions, forced to retreat. And I think these team fights could favor Rival. If they're grouped up, they take advantage of the wards.
Nice poke coming out from emilitoo over there in the dual lane. And a little bit, again, a little bit of aggression from NRG as you see iRaffer sticking around, looking to at least keep enemies on their toes. iRaffer gets to dash, Vote in trouble, but a beautiful chain coming out from Callus.
This whole idea from NRG is to delay the clear from Rival in the duo lane there. That was the idea behind knocking up Vote, silencing him after the fact, despite knowing that there's going to be a little bit of damage returned onto iRaffer. Look how long it's taken Rival to clear this wave. Meanwhile, already back into base is iRaffer, now looking to make this rotation in mid while adapting, and Yammyn is looking to cut off Wlfy.
Wlfy gets taunted, zigzag is good, and he just saves him for the moment. Body block is strong, hail of arrows, Wlfy, beautiful stun, he's all good.
Oh, Yammyn, no cooldowns, no first blood for NRG, having to reset, but still, despite not finding the kill, Wlfy's forced to retreat. He's going to back to base. He's going to lose a little bit of farm.
But adapting also forced him back to base. And that right there, that's why I love watching Isis. A strong Isis player can get out of almost any scenario, 180 Spirit Ball, walk away. Wlfy, he's been playing this character for a long time. Right there shows us how.
An interesting talking point is the swift wing pickup by iRaffer on his first back. The aggression from the dual lane allows him now to start rotating any which way he wants. Getting that extra movement speed means that this Ganesha is going to be an absolute nuisance in all three lanes.
You know, I've really liked the swift wing pickup from iRaffer. We've seen this time and time again in his support role, and really it offers, everybody knows the zoom out the base, but it also offers you some help and sustain. Right side adapting, thinking about it. Deathwalker has the ultimate available, so we'll be able to get away no problem. So adapting just thinks better and walks away.
It's very tricky trying to gank a solo laner, especially as tanky as an Osiris. You stack up that passive, use an ability to get 2% physical damage mitigation, even with adapting, having last breath on Serqet. That's basically a tank killer. Once the Osiris walks away, you're not gonna be able to really catch him after that ult.
maniaKK on this Artio, we've seen him a couple of times. He was actually one of the first players to bring out the Artio. Damage is strong, Deathwalker getting a stun, but here comes adapting. Taunt's good, one more time the zigzag. Inside, Callus shows up out of nowhere. First blood goes to NRG.
Callus trying to clean up, can't find that third chain, unfortunately for him. And we were talking about how difficult it was to kill Deathwalker, but that was made easier because he used Lord of the Afterlife offensively, not being able to escape under his tier 1 tower. NRG with that first blood.
And it's all about the communication. Remember, just a moment ago, I said adapting was here, looking for Deathwalker, but he had the ultimate, so he'd be able to get away. As soon as DW burns that ultimate offensively, as you mentioned, NRG says, look, he used the ultimate, adapting comes back. got to keep talking if you want to find the wins.
And the unfortunate timing also to be that aggressive. SmiteVOD was still coming back up for NRG. This needs to be in the back of your mind as a solo laner. So that play originally from Deathwalker was a bait because Callus was going to be right around the corner with his blink. But same idea from maniaKK. He knew adapting was right around the corner for himself as well.
And that's why teamwork makes the dream work. That's Taco's, not mine. So if you don't like it, blame her. Either way, NRG does find the first blood, and pretty much that's the entirety of their lead. They do have an extra 100 gold here or there, but Team Rival is really staying neck and neck as far as their jungle prioritization.
As long as they keep up in the levels, it's not the end of the world. Deathwalker's still on the same pacing as maniaKK, looking at Vote. Just now hitting level 8 means that he's slightly above Emil here, playing that Chronos. He has to be a little bit passive towards the early game, and Chronos is waiting for a lot of those damage items before he looks to be offensive.
Whereas Vote's quite the opposite. I think Anhur, he wants to fight early, he wants to fight often, jump, impale, ultimate, a whole bunch of bursts there, able to burst through emilitoo's, even his own ult.
Especially with a 75-second cooldown on that Desert Fury. You can use it to escape, you can use it to engage. NRG grouping up in mid, not wanting to pressure against Wlfy or Callus. And I like what Wlfy's doing with his build. Level 1, opts for the Aegis Amulet, recognizing that the damage from adapting needs to be negated, and that'll build up the circle of protection before popping it.
Callus finds the ult, maniaKK ulted on top, trying to get away, can't, there's the dash, Callus enters back, Team Rival on the board.
This is why Callus picks the Ares and goes Blink on top of it. There's no CC immunity for Artio. Even going for the Phantom, more worried about the Odin on iceicebaby, and that's why Callus has been making these early rotations.
Oh, Vote's going to immune the stun with the ultimate, looking for Alito, but iRaffer shows up as well. Stuck in the box, jumps on out. Safe.
Beautiful patience by Vote, not using the purification beads. He recognizes that the stun from Emil was negated by the Desert Fury, giving him that CC immunity originally, and then just waited long enough. The level 8 Chronos, not enough damage with the in-hands and the time rift to find the kill quite yet.
Emilito trying to throw everything at Vote, but just a little bit too squirrely. It is the Hunter for Team Rival, so not going to take too much damage there just yet. Vote will head back into the jungle.
Where adapting and NRG are, they're grouping up very aggressively here. They want to invade the red buff of Rival. And we're trying to see here as Vote stunning one.
Out. Oh, he jumps away very close. There's going to be help on iceicebaby. Adapting very low. Callus with the flames, the jump.
The shell is good. Shell is beautifully played there. iRaffer able to save his jungler's life for the moment. A nice little idea for NRG to try to steal the red buff, but Rival are one step ahead. They know the tendencies of their opponents.
Now, pretty sure it's a mistake. Callus winds up with the red buff. But one thing that I do like about it, look at the boots. So when it comes to different supports, everybody does something different. Khepri plays backline and looks to help, right? Callus, he's looking to lower the kill threshold. He's going to CC by way of damage. And when you go those penetration boots early, Callus is able to really amplify that. And that's why we see so much damage on NRG when they look for that invade, and possibly why Callus is able to secure it.
Well, this is why you pick Ares in the first place, to get the damage off. High risk, high reward, but hold that thought.
This is theirs.
NRG are left alone. Nobody from Rival
theirs.
here.
No vision.
Free.
Cost of that. No objective.
Wow.
NRG clean and clear.
Very important objective. Adapt and go caught alone. Bees is being used. iceeicebaby gonna miss that jump. And very important idea though. Burn the bees. Go back in about 2 minutes time.
Man, a lot of these engagements have been very 3 people on it. On maniaKK, you know, 3 gold Fury. Where's the action? Where's the back and forth?
I thought there would be more pressure onto maniaKK. They found the kill earlier on him, and they attempted that before the rotation from adapting happened first. But this time around, they're shifting their attention towards adapting. They recognize that he is the playmaker in the early to mid game for NRG, and they really want to shut him down early. If they can force him to even back or even play more passive because he has those beats on cooldowns, then Rival has more breathing room.
Adapting, though, not exactly the most passive of players, I would say.
I agree with you, but without beads, I don't think he's going to be diving any backlines anytime soon.
Very true. I mean, Ares is the guy that makes you buy all the beads. Interesting. We actually see maniaKK has to go into the Phantom because of Ice's selection.
Yep.
So he will not have those beads available.
I wouldn't be surprised, though, if at level 12 that maniaKK picks up those beats, recognizing that he could still easily be the focus point, that Callus has the blink, can easily look for these engages. And you were talking about the itemization of Callus. Leaning on his build a little bit more, the penetration is so solid here, even having this aura for the extra magical damage. Trying to find more snowballs with more damage off of this Ares pick is the best thing that Rival can do here.
So right now, Tully, I mentioned that Team Rival probably want to get things going a little bit earlier than NRG here. How much earlier? When do we see them jump in?
Any moment here, wherever Callus goes, that's where the action is, and that's what's happening in the solo lane. maniaKK caught in a 3-on-1, nowhere to go. Phantom doesn't even matter. Easy kill Callus with a second kill of the game.
Just on top of everything here. Callus looking so clean on this Ares, but again, no surprise. We're totally used to seeing Team Rival, specifically Callus, bring out the chains.
And whatever happens in the solo lane, the opposite side reaction, NRG trying to catch Vote off guard, but he's been through too much to let that happen for free. Left side mid Harpies going Rival's way. So Vote's going to clear out this left side wave, and this is what Rival needs to continue to do. Lean on maniaKK. You have this Ares pick that cripples him, so once the transformation happens to bear form, you're not going to be able to dash away.
And that was the entire plan of Team Rival here. Everybody likes to complain sort of about Artio and what she does, but Team Rival's whole composition is fantastic at shutting it down. Wlfy has a stun and a silence to stop her mid-dash. Hi-rez is literally going to trap her, and then Callus can also prevent her from really getting away by way of his own cripple. So Team Rival really armed to the teeth to deal with what NRG brings.
And NRG drafted this Artio pretty early on, immediately after the Ullr, so this could be a prioritization pick for them in the games 2 and 3 potentially, unless it kind of struggles here in the first game. Rival really still looking for more plays. Look where Callus is. His blink is up in about 8 seconds, but he's just looking for some poke first.
Well, he lands both chains, stunned out, still finds a third. Half HP on him, takes more damage actually than he deals.
Because Callus has been constantly leaning in the solo lane, now iRaffer is forced to make the rotation on the right. iceicebaby was thinking about making it happen here, but recognizing that Vote's in trouble, he needs to go to the left.
Oh, but the jump is going to be canceled. There's the ultimate. This is a dead Anhur unless Wlfy has anything to say about it. Emilitoo shows up. Wlfy absolutely does. Vote. Safe.
Uh-oh, iceicebaby. Oh, he could have done it. He does. He blink ultis. He's buying time for his teammates. Wlfy uses the beats. Callus going in. Gets one chain, forcing out the Aegis. Emil is going to fall.
The beautiful turnaround. Fantastic stuff from Team Rival. Just wonderful team communication. They burn NRG's ultimates, specifically Emil's, and they collapse, shut down the mage. Shout out to the Doom Orb.
Vote bought so much time there with his Aegis. He dodged the abilities from Emil as well, and then once that Anhur pillar happened, the slow was too much for Emil to escape. He was forced to use an ulti prematurely, and then iceicebaby was right around the corner. The mindset from Rival between these two blinks on both Ice and Callus just goes to show how aggressive they want to be throughout the entirety of this game.
And like and that's what you expect, especially early. Can't drill that home enough.
Look at this trap onto Alito here. There's no cooldowns.
Surprise!
He's dead. He's absolutely dead.
Grabbed, nabbed, and he's out of there. Vote number 4.
Rival are just one step ahead of NRG. They know the cooldowns of the ultimate, the relics. They abuse it every single time. 2 deaths on maniaKK, 2 deaths on Emil. The side lanes from NRG are struggling, and NRG are thriving.
You know, this is the opposite of what I expected. I'm so surprised here. NRG came in like a bat out of hell, Camazotz, yesterday and looked so hot. Team Rival, on the other hand, kind of looked like they forgot their notebook at home. But today, no complaints, no complaints. Purple looks good.
Well, NRG, they got the first Gold Fury earlier. They're trying to go for it again, but I think that Rival are here to stop it. They got baited out a little bit. Callus left alone.
Oh, he got trapped that time.
He
Stuck
did.
in the box, nowhere to go. NRG finds number 2, but kill number 2 is all well and good. Gold Fury number 2, Rival need to absolutely make sure NRG do not grab that.
And we're going to be seeing the fact that he sacrificed his life, that NRG is not able to do that second Gold Fury. That's very important to sacrifice your support at any given opportunity. But now, without adapting his ultimate, without Rappers, Dharmic Pillars, that's going to allow Rival to farm it up for a little bit longer, because I don't think NRG are going to look to play aggressive here.
Hey, here's NRG playing Rival's game, finds a little surprise around the corner. Vote, however, takes the 1v2, and, well, Hurt's adapting an emilitoo.
It's because of all these vision wards around the Gold Fury side that NRG can spot out the rotation between the mid lane to the long lane. Rival knew that they were going to be left alone on the left, and NRG taking advantage of it slightly by poking out Vote.
4 separate wards here by the Gold Fury, plus the vision that you're going to be able to get by way of the oracles, or bananas, as Emil loves to call them. You know, Emil has a lot of words for things in the game. Purple buff is pink buff.
And that's just the synergy that happens with teams. When you've been together for so long, you make little nicknames and little funny things for these characters.
I think it's just emilitoo and his own idiosyncrasies, but either way, still fun stuff. And like you said, I mean, the team's able to have fun with it. That's why NRG's been so successful. And you know, it's fun. This season has been different for NRG. The first season that they win their world championship, they look great, unstoppable. The next season, also very strong. But this has been a little bit different. NRG struggled during the regular season.
But that's just the online portion of it. NRG is just an absolute beast when it comes to LAN. Last year, they went on a 17-1 LAN winning streak before entering SWC. Here, they went on a 5-0 streak at group play, going undefeated against a lot of these teams. And this is just looking like another beast here after they 2-0'd Luminosity also almost effortlessly.
I won't say effortlessly. That was game 2. Game 1, that was a little rough.
Took a little bit. It took about 20 minutes before they found their stride.
You know how many LG fans are out there, Charlie? You really gonna do this one?
They know where I live.
16 minutes in here, Team Rival up 4-2. The gold, however, in favor of NRG, just by 1,000. Very close here. It's been neck and neck pretty much the entirety of the match.
Both solo laners just hitting each other with pillows. Not much to talk about there, but on a more serious note here, the Isis, Wlfy, playing a more utility style with his build. The Stone of Binding that was shown here as his third item is not your typical mid-mage item choice, but because of the silence, because of the stun, you're getting more damage from the rest of your teammates, which also allows Callus to get off more damage with his chains and flames.
Exactly, that's the key there, is that Wlfy's able to proc this 2 separate ways. And the Spirit Ball is also just gonna do hard damage anyway. Vote has his relics forced out, jumped away, stuck in the ring, and adapting his king. One more kill.
iceicebaby got spread a little bit, but not wanting to chase that down. Emil was still clearing the wave, but because of this 1 kill and getting Ice that low, it's now a 5-on-3 for a little bit. And if NRG really want to, they can truly collapse on this Gold Fury and force Rival out of position.
I mean, I don't know if Rival can really do anything in position, out of position. There's the Dharmic Pillars again.
That's all it takes. It's just finding that 1.5 kills, getting their second Gold Fury of the game, despite Rival getting the better end of it on the kill scoreboard. That doesn't matter if NRG is just going to secure every single Gold Fury.
I mean, that experience is so important. NRG understanding just exactly how much time each kill buys you. It's easy to press tab and look and see how long the player is going to sit out, but what does that kill mean as far as rotations? What does that kill mean as far as the rest of the squad? NRG have that down to a science.
Rival trying to respond in kind, taking advantage of this half-health tier 1 tower, and NRG were all caught in kind of a limbo mode there after the Gold Fury. Some people back, some people were getting their back harpies. Emil was still pushing the left side wave, giving up 500 gold, not the end of the world for NRG, but that mid-tier 1 positioning, if there ever needed to be an escape path, that's not available for them anymore.
You know, I bring that up frequently. Portal Demon started here by the guys on Team Rival. maniaKK to show up. Callus here as well, pulling iRaffer out in there, half HP, help out from Wlfy with the ultimate. Now still support in trouble, walking away left-hand side. Right side, Deathwalker is going to be stunned out. Vote trouble on the back end.
Adapting.
As the ultimate from Adapting will touch him.
Adapting still flanking around the corner. Everyone from Rival is on the retreat. Dharmic Pillars is being even used. Deathwalker forced to use that Lord of the Afterlife defensively. Only Vote with his ultimate available from Rival, but they're still looking to play aggressive because iRaffer is a little low as well.
I didn't expect the full commit. Now NRG have the ultimate from emilitoo, and that's it.
maniaKK.
Chasing down Kalas here is maniaKK, and it's going to be Ice jumping defensively.
Emil, he's going in by himself. He's very aggressive. He uses the rewind, recognizing that he's going to be safe next to that fire giant. No kills on either side, but not that much mana on Wlfy, so he's essentially useless. He's going to have to back to the fountain. NRG probably will secure this portal demon.
I mean, completely disjointed team fight from both sides, honestly. Nobody really could get anything going. You saw iRaffer sort of drop the pillars, maybe a little bit early even, but again, it doesn't matter if nobody wins the team fight. NRG certainly win the situation by taking the portal team.
It was just a tug-of-war battle for a little small objective on the right side of the map, and Rival, they tried to pull first by actually no escaping iRaffer, trying to get off the damage, using Wlfy's ultimate on top. That was a big commitment onto the enemy support that's now already level 14, has Pestilence, has the Sovereignty, so he's pretty tanky here.
Don't forget also the relics available. You know, he had that shell, and they're able to get out of the ring. Exactly. I think it was the wrong target for Rival to really look at. Right now, struggling just a little bit, down by about 4,000 gold. Next engagement, Rival have to fix that target prioritization.
And now, also, because of this, Rival needs to just be worried about the rotations from NRG. They're kind of controlling the map with this portal demon for a little bit without having many wards around the fire giant. Neither team going to want to pull the trigger there, so it's still a slow and steady battle, waiting for this Gold Fury to respawn in about 2 minutes' time.
Alito on this Chronos has been so impressive throughout the years. iceicebaby jumping away, no surprise there. Can it walk away? Not going to get us there. But Emil tossing out damage in the mid lane, coming here in right time, because the basic attack damage that he's able to bring combined with Yammyn's make it such a scary scenario. Your towers just melt.
These next 5 minutes is going to be do or die for Rival. If they don't make something happen here, NRG's late game is just going to carry them.
And so what do they do in these next 5 minutes?
They just have to group up and find the right targets. They try to kind of blow everything at iRaffer, but that might not be the ideal target here. Beads is picked up from maniaKK, so going on him is a little tricky as well. So they just need to be grouped up, maybe finding some damage onto iRaffer or maniaKK without using these ultimates, right? Use your long-range Isis Spirit Ball stun, get that Stone of Binding proc, get the chains off from Kalas, trying to make sure that he can't get away, and then you look for the reset. Don't try to use all your ultimates at the beginning of the fight.
Well, we're talking about sort of the future plans for Team Rival, but I spent the whole early game saying expect Rival to turn up nice and quick. What happened? iceicebaby is 0-2. We didn't get that hot Odin start that we're used to seeing. Wlfy wasn't able to super pressure out. All of the objectives went to NRG, the low pressure squad. So why?
It's just Rival trying to make too much happen on the side lanes with the kills. We saw 2 kills onto maniaKK, 2 kills onto Emil, but they never could find the objective in between these kills. The Gold Furies were constantly going the way of NRG. Rival, they did their homeworks in terms of the aggression, the finding the kills, and all that stuff. But like you said, they didn't get the stuff after the stuff.
Did I say that?
You say it all the time.
Yeah, well, listen, you're trying to force the situation here. NRG looking to force this team fight right hand side. iRaffer dropping the box, adapting left side, looking at Wlfy. That is target prioritization. Vote's trying to help him out, and I love how Wlfy is holding the ult.
Beautiful stun onto iRaffer as well, forced to disengage a little bit as Rifle on the backside is adapting, trying to find the flank and the opportunities. Deathwalker is chasing out Yammyn on the north side. iRaffer a little bit low, forced to escape on the left. A little bit of stun off the mark by Emil. And maniaKK, though, he's thinking about how to continue this engage.
Oh, the stun from maniaKK, but keep an eye on Vote. He's staying separate, making sure that his ultimate goes right down the middle.
Beautiful pull.
iRaffer pulled, iRaffer gone.
maniaKK, go!
baby! Both follows up. That's going to be
Yammyn, he's trying to escape, now being chased. Third dead NRG member. Rival, this was the 5-minute mark that they needed right there. They waited long enough. Callus held on to his ultimate long enough to find 2 members. Finding iRaffer, finding maniaKK, the 2 tanks are gone, and then who's to follow? It's gonna be Yammyn.
Emilitoo is gonna get jumped on, collapse. Nice ult. Will he be able to take one with him is the question. The answer, yes.
Adapting is left alone to just watch as Rival are trying to go for this Fire Giant. His ultimate is coming up relatively soon. Fire Giant at less than half health. Callus doing a good job zoning, adapting, but he has speed buff. He's very slippery.
He's gonna come in, jumps good. There's one crit, finds the ultimate auto player, but adapting can't find much else. Fire Giant. That's him right.
This is Rival's game now. They got Fire Giant. Now what can they do with this Fire Giant? Keep in mind, the late game is still a big priority threat. If NRG can hold on to their tier 2 towers, they don't let this gold lead stretch too far out of control, then they can still stall the game out. Emil playing his signature Chronos is the serious threat here.
This is the most team rival nonsense I've ever seen. They pick an early game, objective, secure composition and lose all the gold furies in the world in the first 20 minutes. And then against a squad with an Ullr and a Chronos and an Artio, once those characters are online, beat everybody up and take a Fire Giant. Totally, that's not the way it's supposed to go.
I mean, just look what happened in terms of that team fight, right? Wlfy held on to his circle of protection.
That was so important.
Long enough to allow the last breath to fade away, got some health return back. You mitigated a lot of damage with the protections as well, and then Callus just sealed the deal with a beautiful double pull.
I mean, so we talk, Isis is a character that, and I spent a lot of time talking to actually Kelly on the desk about this. Isis, I think, is an underrated character in the meta, period, but she's also very difficult to play. And even when you're able to play her at a high level, the fine intricacies of things like holding on to your ult, fighting those stuns. Don't forget, Wlfy avoided that first blood by a hot 180 spirit ball. Yep. I love to watch this dude play. You know who he reminds me of?
Who?
Sayo.
Oh yeah, actually, that was his preferred go-to god. Rival, though, grouped up in the left side. Phoenix is going down to half health here. 4 members now make that 5 from NRG, are trying to hold on a little bit longer, but still with Fire Giant buff around their waist for another 2 minutes, Rival can keep going for 4 more waves here.
And adapting, looking to play flank man. Rival see it, they're gonna back off and look for the towers.
That's right.
Just go for the safe play.
Better to play it safe than sorry here in this game 1 out of a best of 5 in the semifinals of HRX day number 4. The winner here is going to face off the winner of E United versus Obey Alliance. A lot is on the line for both of these teams. NRG wanting to get their 3-peat. Rival have looked so good throughout this whole year, and momentum has been definitely their friend.
NRG decided to play under the tier 2 tower instead of the Phoenix, and I like this play. They can absolutely fight into this Fire Giant. They had the gold lead previously, so even with a 2,000 gold deficit in a Fire Giant, NRG can fight. Emilitoo is strong. They can take it. They can't defend the tower, but they don't die.
Callus, though, trying to fight a ball, getting iRaffer. The stun coming out from Wlfy. iRaffer still in a tricky position. A lot of chains coming out from Callus. A lot of retreat also, though, from adapting on the right side of the map. Trying to look for additional flank here. His ultimate is still available. Yammyn was very low. He's forced to retreat, but look at this Fire Giant buff that's still available for 1 minute. They got 2 tier 2 towers. They're getting themselves a 3,000 gold lead, and that's relatively comfortable for Rival here.
One thing that I think is absolutely paramount for these team fights is the positioning coming out from Team Rival's Hunter. Vote, oh my goodness. If you're a Hunter player, just watch this VOD. Vote is standing sort of to the right of his team fight the entire time. Even when maniaKK came through and got an entire team stun over here by the speed buff about 10 minutes ago, Vote was all the way on the outside, not being hit by any of it.
He was standing on the right side because of that sentry ward right next to that tier 2 mid tower. All he has to do is just hold left click at the tower and then keep his eyes on the mini map if adapting was trying to find that flank. And that just enabled Rival to get this tier 2 tower. It was a little bit of a struggle, no kills for either side, but Rival are now getting more objectives.
that separation that Vote is causing, that separation that Vote is employing is important. He's never going to get kissed by adapting. He's never going to get locked in by iRaffer. He's never going to be controlled because you want to go for the squad. You want to go for the group. And if Vote is always separated, well, pick one. And Vote's valuable, so, oh well.
All towers stripped from NRG. Rival are doing a good job making the Titan more vulnerable once that final push does happen. Yammyn having some time to free farm. Stripping away that red buff is really important considering that Vote definitely wants it here. Going for a very interesting style in his build, recognizing that NRG is going to be very offensive with their front line, goes for the Poison Star, trying to limit some of their movement speed if caught out there, even going for Wind Demon to boost up his own movement speed.
Well, after a half hour of action here in our first match of the day, Team Rival answering back. NRG came out swinging. Rival able to really wrestle away control here in the late game. 4,000 gold up, plus the Fire Giant push that we just saw. And now Fire Giant just now respawning. Rival has better positioning, but NRG will absolutely make this tough.
They're gonna go for it despite not having any Phoenixes down. iceeicebaby's jumping over so that he can use that ultimate. iRaffer can use the dash to go through the first area of the ring, but not the second one.
Team Rival, get it with Wlfy's ultimate.
Yammyn is alone!
Jumping over the top, Yammyn is low. There's a console, and they're all going down.
iRaffer's in trouble as well. He gets pulled alongside maniaKK. They found one. They're about to find a second onto maniaKK. They're not done yet. iRaffer's going to be the next victim. Vote is so low. The shell is good. Emilitoo gets off the rewind, but Rival, they walk away clean with 2 picks and the Fire Giant.
iRaffer gets blinked on by iceicebaby. The jump is going to be strong. Gun Gear's Smite will slow down the Elephant Man. Team Rival,
they want it.
Fire Giant.
They will not let this elephant go. iceeicebaby says, come back here, iRaffer.
That's a dozen, baby. Team Rival, 12 dead. This is a Phoenix.
Yes, this is a guaranteed free Phoenix. ML cannot defend this against 4 members. Rival, they're going to get this one. The question is, do they go for the end right here with Yammyn coming up in 5 seconds? It looks like they're going for the end here. I thought.
They're thinking about it. They're going.
They want it.
Alpha Tackle is running across the arena.
Backside.
Titan. This is a push. They're going for it.
That's the game.
They took it. Game number 1. Team Rival.
Rival with such a great composition in the early game, closing it out in the late. Hats off to Rival. We thought NRG had the momentum going 5-0 in the group play, 2-0 against Luminosity. Rival, they looked shaky in game number 2 against Nocturnes. They shook that off here in day 4.
You know, it was so interesting. I wasn't even sure it was going to end that way. Alpha Jackal knew. He's sitting here kind of backstage and ran across the arena as soon as they went for the Phoenix.
Yes.
He knows his team, and they're doing well. Kelly, break it down.
Tom, that was an intense game there, and Rival proved that they are here for a reason. They are the #1 seeded team out of Europe. They looked like a pretty even game at the early game, but the mid game it shifted over in favor of Rival.
It was just primarily NRG taking the advantages early on, and all of the team fights, it's at least for the early stages, went heavily in NRG's favor because they were able to find objectives after the fact or buffs. Unfortunately for Rival, those couple of early picks that they found, there wasn't really anything on the map for them to take afterwards.
Yeah, they transitioned that really well, NRG here. Every time they got a pick, they would go to Cold Fury, and Rival couldn't even get a buff after they killed Emil twice in a row. In the late game, however, the entire thing shifted towards Rival being able to just team fight way better than NRG here, playing well around the map, hiding behind the columns on their own speed buff, and then actually relying on NRG's carries, not hitting a lot of abilities. That got them back into the game. They got the Fire Giant, and after that, they just strangled them out.
Their awareness for team fights is fantastic. Like you said, I think it was around the 16-minute mark right before they went for the Fire Giant. Here we have the Ares pick, something that everyone really loved. I don't understand actually why Ares isn't picked. We've actually seen him in the world stage before and have him banned out. Do you think we're going to see him banned out again?
I can't anticipate NRG banning out Ares. If anything, it would probably be more towards the Odin selection. Even though Odin seems like kind of a not necessarily a favored god in this meta, the way that Rival works around it was actually a very smart long play by Rival in the drafting, because if you notice, Vote actually got to build crit, and Hunters haven't really had that luxury this season due to Thorns, and NRG couldn't afford to build Thorns because they had to focus on the Phantoms trying to get away from this Odin. So that ultimately helped out Vote, and him having that burst damage to just take out a Chronos, take out Serqet's health, it helped greatly.
So do you feel like the start of the game didn't really determine how this game paced out? How was Rival able to turn it around, though, beyond team fights? It seemed really like they were pressuring the solo lane really well at the start of it, and then once NRG shifted over to the duo lane, they also shifted over to the duo lane, and Ares like focused over into the tier 1 and tier 2. What does NRG have to do differently?
I think NRG, they need to look at their draft and the way they play it out. Now, the team comp they had that works really well in a team fight scenario where you get to flank people. We saw in the last fight, Chronos coming in from behind, forcing both Alex on their hard carries from Rival, and at that point, it's just not enough because the team fights don't last long enough. I want Rival to stick what they do, but I want the NRG to actually have Yammyn on something else. I think the Ullr really didn't get to do anything. He got blown up fairly early in the fight, and after that, it was kind of a struggle.
Is he comfortable with Hunters in mid?
He's very comfortable with it. If he does play Ullr again, actually, I think I still trust him to perform. It's just something that you get a fresh mindset on new god here, and if you're on the world stage, you want to be going with a good feeling.
The Ares damage on Callus is insane. He actually has the second highest damage over Deathwalker.
Callus just absolutely loves playing carry Ares, and for a good reason. Ares, as soon as he got those couple of early kills onto maniaKK, it made it very easy for him to get those aura items online, really helped build into that Ares passive with the increased magical power, and because of that, it was also just him going hand in hand again with iceicebaby on that Odin. Both of them just working it flawless, because as soon as one Phantom was popped, you just saw Callus blinking in or using his Ares ult as soon as possible to try and pull them back in. And
speaking of Odin as well, those cages were great. He did it a few times, blocking out the fire giant, so NRG wasn't able to get in. But how do you ban them out now? You can't.
Well, if you go straight away, really simple with it, you can literally ban out Ares and Odin. This is something that would feel good for NRG, since it's two characters that are quote-unquote annoying to play against. It is just very unusual characters, and especially for maniaKK, who had to decide between Phantom and Beads. He went for Phantom, and then he got the Ares. So either way, you're not getting a good end of it. I actually feel like they should stick to the Fafnir ban and then look for either Odin or Ares.
But if we had to choose, yeah. Between the tier 1 and tier 2, their aggression and their teaming is great. But I do think that Rival had a few issues in that game. I think that they need to be aware of the map a bit more. I think that they need to be, even a little more aggressive.
For Rival, this kind of draft is actually probably everything that they would have wanted. They are players who prefer these kind of comfort picks over picks that might be looked at as particularly strong in this current meta. And NRG is probably fairly similar outside of, did we mention, to be maybe 1 or 2 picks?
Pretty much, yeah. I think that NRG is going to go for something that is even more comfort, maybe actually a double hunter. We had Emil on Chronos, which we've not seen for too long of a while. You say that obviously it's one of his best gods, he plays it a lot, but this game he didn't really look comfortable. I want to see him swap it up, have a double hunter lineup, maybe put Kenneth, or adapting, sorry, on like a real frontliner that's not Serqet, and then play the game a bit differently here.
Kenneth adapting did such an amazing job on that Serqet, though. You really have to give him a commends for the way that he maneuvered throughout that backline. And granted, NRG didn't end up coming out on top, but he still did a really excellent job.
So the assist screen here is kind of a sad story, really. You see a couple of 1 assist on the 4th side of NRG.
And a 0.
And a 0. It tells the story of you were playing the early and mid game right, but the team fights, you just didn't come together. And the team fights at that point of the game, when it goes this long and it's this even, it's what really matters. And Rival just shined here.
Yeah, those team fights were fantastic. Definitely the forefront for Rival's victory right there. As they're coming back. And the audience as well. You know, I actually thought they were going to be in favor of NRG, but it seems like they're rooting for Rival.
That's always the case that happens. Anytime you've got world champs, and then now that there's the 2-time world champs, I think that people are just kind of wanting to see Rival still viewed as a slight underdog, I think, because of just how much experience NRG has coming into this.
Of course. So do you think we're going to see a similar start to what we saw before?
Probably yes,
Yeah.
I would say so. Actually, what happened in the meta, like the early game they played here was a 2-2-1 with a double start in the dual lane, seeing how iRaffer needed to protect Emil. But I think it was for Rival that they wanted to put Anhur maybe into a kill position here. They look for chains early, look for a kill on them. I think that it's going to continue like that, or they're going to shift it over to a solo lane commit. Maybe NRG is going to try to look to put 2 people in the mid lane, 2 people in the solo lane now, and try to win the game through raw pressure there.
That's standard 1-2-2 build right there. All right, guys, in just a few moments, we will be getting into game number 2, picks in bans. Right now, the teams are just chatting. Rival just sat down, so they're going to make sure that they're ready to go. Whew, man, the first bans that we saw, of course, Robin, first ban. You cannot let adapting have that. Do you think adapting didn't really show up in game 2, actually?
I think he played it really well. We had one moment where he was kind of an outtake, where he was Serqet ulting the Anhur for a gank, and the toss on the Serqet ult, he misplaced the direction. So out of that sort of situation, Emil got killed because he got chased down and the Anhur lived. And overall, he looked fine. He looked comfortable. He looked good. But I want to see him to change it up as well if they can. Ravana, obviously, a great choice here, but I'm not sure.
Well.